Hey, what's up guys? It's Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of Modded Monday. Now this is a very special episode because today marks 300 weeks of our Top 5 Mods of the Week series. 300 weeks of Top 5 mods? That's over 1,500 mods that we've covered here on the channel. So I thought it would be a great idea to make a load order out of some of my favorite ones. Now the load order that we brought to the channel last year was one of my favorites, where we turned Skyrim into a true RPG using all 150 mod slots. Unfortunately though, many of the mods from that list have been taken down. We called this little time period the Mod Purge. It wasn't just our load order that was affected, but many others as well. So over the past few months I've been researching and testing mods that won't just up and disappear at a moment's notice. I wanted to make sure that the mods that we choose for this list are here to stay, and that's exactly what I have for you guys today. This is not only a remaster of the true RPG load order from last year, but also a redesign of the list to include other mods from other load orders that I've created as well, such as the Assassin load order and the Mage mod list. I did this to ensure that this list has something for everyone, and I truly believe that this is the greatest load order that I've made to date. So before we get started with the load order, I'd also like to say that you don't actually have to install all 150 mods that I include in this list. These are merely just suggestions for making the best version of Skyrim possible in my opinion. So whether you just want to copy all 150 mods and have an exact replica of the gameplay that you're seeing in all my showcases, or you just want to sit back and get ideas for mods to include in your next mod list, both of those options are fine. I'm just here to make your Skyrim fun again. And if you don't want to watch this entire guide and just want the list, you can find all of the mods in the description, as well as the links to those mods that are featured in the pinned comment that I left down below as well. Just make sure that if you're going to skip out on watching this entire guide, at least go to these timestamps that I have up on the screen here, just so you don't miss any important information relating incompatibilities and overall functionality of the load order. Finally, I'd like to give a special thank you to GamerSupps for partnering with me in order to get you guys 10% off whenever you use the code RTD at checkout. GamerSupps, in my opinion, is one of the best energy drinks on the market right now, and they have a wide variety of delicious flavors, so I'd strongly recommend checking them out using the link in the description below. Now that all that's out of the way, we can sit back and relax as we once again turn Skyrim into a true RPG. Now for those of you who have followed this channel for a while, you'll know that every time we create a new load order on Xbox, we have to clear the reserve space. And you can do this by pressing Start on Skyrim and heading to the Manage Game and Add-on section, and underneath the Save Data tab you'll find this reserve space. And it's very important to clear it if you plan on recreating my entire list. But please note that by clearing this reserve space, all of your current mods will be deleted. And we do this because if you have other mods installed and then you delete them, there's still cache from those mods that are now deleted still in your game that have to be cleared, or else you won't have enough space for all 150 mods that I have here. Even if it says you have enough space, it still won't let you download them sometimes. So just make sure to clear your reserve space if you plan on recreating the entire list, because it gives you a fresh start on a brand new clean save of Skyrim. And like I said in my previous video, the format for covering this list is going to be a lot different, meaning I'm not going to be going through and explaining every single mod in detail. Instead, we're just going to cruise through the list and I'll talk about the bigger mods, and if there's special instructions for getting certain mods to work, we'll talk about that too. So with that said, let's just start off with the first mod in our list, which is a staple mod that I include in all of my load orders, the Unofficial Skyrim patch, which I'm sure everyone already knows about. It just fixes hundreds of gameplay, quest, NPC, object, item, text, and placement bugs, all fixed with one simple mod here, and it's a staple mod that we always use just because we don't want to have any glitches going into creating our load order that were already in the game. So we just want to patch as many of the glitches in Skyrim as possible before we start adding a bunch of the mods to the list. And then following that we have, UI mods such as SkyRaD UI, which is an amazing UI mod that I absolutely love. And on top of that you have some Oblivion interaction icons. Afterwards we have the enemy health indicators mod, which is a beautiful mod that just adds health bars above every enemy in Skyrim, and they look fantastic. And then main menu and loading screen mods. This was made by a good friend of mine, Love King, and he did a great job putting this mod pack together so that whenever you start up Skyrim, you have a brand new loading screen and brand new main menu. It just looks amazing and feels amazing to start it up. It's just a great mod in general. After that we have our favorite music mod, Chapter 2 Jeremy Soule inspired music, which is just a staple music mod for me because of just how great this music sounds and how it really fits into the Skyrim lore as well. Moving on down the list, we have a mod that completely changes all of the sounds in Skyrim, the Immersive Sounds Compendium, and then other sound mods such as quieter dungeons and caves. Then we're going to work up the actual world map here. We have a quality world map, so every time you open up the world map, you'll have a new view. high quality perk interfaces so that you have better perk interfaces whenever you level up. Here's our physics mods, such as realistic ragdolls and force. Now, it's actually important to note, this is actually where we're going to stop the list real quick here. If you have this mod installed, it's going to completely fix a bunch of the physics in the game, but with that being said, you aren't able to do the vanilla start with this mod enabled. You'll just get stuck on the chopping block and not be able to move. So if you do want to do the vanilla start, you can disable this mod and then enable it afterwards, but we're going to have the alternate start mod later in the list, so you really don't have to worry about this. So if you are going to be doing the vanilla start, make sure to have this mod disabled, but otherwise you're just going to be picking a different start anyway, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. And then after that, we have Essentials Ragdoll on Knockdown, the Cheat Room mod, which is a brilliant mod to have just in case, you know, a glitch happens to happen within your playthrough there. You can use the Cheat Room to either teleport away if you get stuck, or if a quest breaks, you're able to also fix that. And also with the Quest Debugger mod up next, you can also fix other quests that may break as well. I'm not trying to say that your quests are going to break, it's just Skyrim sometimes is Skyrim and glitches happen. And if it does happen, you want to be able to fix them, which is exactly what Cheat Room and the Quest Debugger mods do. Following that, we have an amazing clothing mod, Cloaks, face masks, and all sorts, which adds cloaks, face masks, and a bunch of different accessories to your character, and they all just fit in the game perfectly. After that, elaborate opulent textures, which really fixes the College of Winterhold robes and just makes a lot of the NPC clothing look a lot better. Guard's armor replacer, that's self-explanatory. The Guard's armor is completely remastered and they look great. Nordwar all-in-one, one of my favorite armor mods in general, made by my friend Love King there. He put this mod pack together, but really I think this is one of the best armor mods out there because not only does it include a bunch of Nordwar's armors that he's ported over to the Xbox version of Skyrim, but also you have the vanilla armors as well. This isn't a replacer mod, you know, you can have the original vanilla armor and then the actual badass Nordwar armor as well, so that the people that like vanilla can keep their armor, or if you're someone who wants some more high quality armor, you also have that choice as well. So this is a perfect armor mod pack to include in your load order here. After that, we just have some smaller mods like the Black Leather Sheath mod and the Perks and Mega Magic Bundle, which is a huge bundle mod that includes Apocalypse Magic of Skyrim, the Ordinator Perks of Skyrim mod, which completely overhauls all of the perks in Skyrim and gives you like 200 new perks to choose from. And it also includes mods like the Odin Skyrim Magic Overhaul, Triumvirate Mage Archetypes, Tonal Architect, Cosmic Spells, the Miracle of Flight. There's so much in terms of perks and magic inside this mod that it's a no-brainer to have it in our load order here. And then after that, we have Mysticism, which is another magic overhaul, which adds even more spells into the game, and grab a patch alongside that with Mysticism. Improved telekinesis, Frostload tweaks. You know, we're just getting some spell mods in here to really up the ante and really make the spells worthwhile. And then afterwards, we have the Placeable Statics mod, which allows you to grab and move and place furniture anywhere you like all throughout Skyrim, but mostly used inside of your player home so that you can shift tables and chests around to your liking. So there's definitely a lot of customization whenever it comes to building and furnishing your house now with this in our load order. Following that, you have emotes, so that you can actually do the different types of animations that, you know, the people of Skyrim do, like NPCs. You can dance, you can wave, you can do really any emote that you see anyone throughout Skyrim doing, so it's a great mod to have in here. Following that, 20% more perk points, so you get more perk points for leveling up. Perk points at skill levels 50, 75, and 100. Those are self-explanatory. Dragon Souls to attributes, which is a very great mod that allows you to actually convert your Dragon Souls to other things such as health, magic, and stamina. Moving on, the True Dragonborn Heavy is more of a choice mod. So, you know, above we have the Dragon Souls to attributes. You can use your Dragon Souls to increase your health, but if you actually keep them on your person, you have a lot more. Say you have 10 Dragon Souls at once. The more Dragon Souls you have absorbed, the more powerful you are too now. So it gives you a little bit of a trade-off, whether you want to trade a Dragon Soul to get extra health, or if you want to keep your Dragon Souls to get some extra carrying capacity or damage resistance. Next up, we have the Guild Leader Perks mod, which is just a mod that gives you more incentive to actually climb the ranks of the different guilds that you get all throughout Skyrim, so that's a great mod to have. Dynamic display settings, in case you want to change the way your game looks, whether it's the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, depth of field, and more. Unread books glow, that's very self-explanatory. Any book that you haven't read will glow, and there's other options that you can change it to just skill books, so not every single book that you find all throughout Skyrim is going to be glowing, because that would be annoying. After that, we have the Archery Tweaks Plus mod, which completely changes everything about archery to make it a lot more faster and a lot more realistic as well. And then the Belt Fastened Quivers mod just makes it so your quivers around your belt instead of up and down on your back. Refined artifacts tweaks all of the artifacts in the game to be a lot more powerful and feel like god tier weapons now, which is extremely badass. The Royal Armory, a great mod that gives a bunch of named NPCs a bunch of actual good weapons now, so you won't just be seeing Jarl Balgruuf and, Ulfric Stormcloaks charge into battle with a regular steel sword. He'll have an enchanted sword with special enchantments on it, and I really like that as a mod idea. And then moving on, the Privatized Heavy Armory, which is pretty much along the same lines, but it gives you tons of new lore-friendly weapons to use, such as halberds, glaives, long maces, mauls, quarterstaffs, short spears, and short swords. This is like adding all of the weapons from Morrowind. You know how you had so many more choices in Morrowind to choose a bunch of different weapons. It pretty much brings all of those into Skyrim, so you can choose from those now in the crafting menu. And then of course we just have a patch following that up. We have some weather mods. These weather mods we've been using for such a long time now, and I haven't really found anything that matches it. I really love the combination of surreal lighting, eternal sunshine, and far better sun. And then for the nighttime we have enhanced night Skyrim, and then the mythical ages weather overhaul following that. So it's just a perfect combination of all of these mods together to bring you the best weathers in Skyrim. And then we have the NPC overhauls. We have Lean Skyrim NPCs, Divine Skins and Bodies. We've been using these for quite a while now. The Beards mod, the Eyes of Beauty, the Vanity Mirror so that you can actually change your appearance without having to go talk to some lady in the Ragged Flagon to actually just change your hairstyle. You can actually do it from the comfort of your own home now. This is more so just the NPC section where we're changing what the NPCs look like as well as what we look like whenever we're actually designing our character. We have the RS Children Optimized mod, just another NPC mod there. Argonian Hatchlings as well as the Khajiit Caravan Kittens. These two mods go hand in hand, and they just add the children version of Argonians and Khajiits into the game, which is pretty realistic. The Sevis Run Creatures and Wildlife overhaul up next here. This is a complete remaster of every single creature in Skyrim, and it's a staple mod in our load order here because it includes Alduin, bears, werewolves, chickens, huskies, dogs, dragons, dragon bones, dragon priests, Draugr, dwarven centaurians. Literally every single animal and creature and monster you can find in Skyrim will have a brand new remastered texture with this mod, and I absolutely love it. And then moving on, we have Convenient Horses, one of the best horse mods out there that just gives you complete control over your horse and the interaction system and just adds tons of new functionality with horses. It's a staple mod when it comes to horses in Skyrim, and I love it. And then after that, the Unique Saddles of Skyrim just expands your choices whenever it comes to using saddles. And then the Shadowmere Replacer, because Shadowmere needed some more love from our previous loot order. So now we have a complete new replacer for whenever you eventually unlock them with the Dark Brotherhood questline. And then moving on, we're adding some new monsters into the game, such as the classic ghosts. And then we have Talkative Dragons up next, so that dragons talk to you during fighting. Luminous Atronach, so that they glow in the dark. And now our animation replacers, Dual Sun Spoiler Animation Overhaul, Cinematic Dragon Soul, and new animation for magic casting. These four mods go hand in hand to bring you the best and most realistic looking animations that I've ever seen. Moving on farther down the list, we have mods like Sustain Magic, which allows you to cast Candlelight only once, and it doesn't have a timer. It just now actually takes away from your permanent magicka until you cast it again, which I really like, and it's a great way to explore these caves. Up next, we have the Wear Multiple Rings mod. That's self-explanatory there. You can now just wear more than 1 or 2 rings. You can have up to 10, I believe. And now moving on to our actual graphic mod, the SRP Architecture and DLCs mod. This is an absolutely amazing mod that I really fell in love with the first time it came out because we've been using Skyland forever in terms of architecture and landscapes, but now SRP kind of takes the cake. I wanted to change it up a little for this load order, and I really love what these textures look like now. And this is going to completely change what your game looks like, and it's just a complete remaster of all of the textures in Skyrim, and I absolutely love it. And then moving on, we have a couple new additions to every single town, such as every town a temple, the Great City of Solitude, as well as its patch, Fortified Whiterun, which adds a ton of walls around Whiterun and makes it look a lot more fortified, the Whiterun City Full of Life, which adds more flora and plants to Whiterun, the Better Skyforge, Breeze Home Basement. We're just upping the cities and, upgrading all of the different areas that you can travel to. Following that, you have the Mystical Scholarship mod, which completely transforms the College of Winterhold and makes it look amazing. And then the College Curriculum mod gives you more classes to take in the college so that you can actually learn and get better as a wizard through the college. I really like that mod too. ESO Sky Shards so that you can find Sky Shards all throughout the world and actually get perk points for finding 3 of them at a time. I really love this mod. It gets you to explore and actually go out a lot more. And then after that, we have the Sneak Thief Opulent Collection mod, which is a merge of 32 different mods to enhance your Sneak Thief and Assassin playthrough. So this means completely transforming the Dark Brotherhood as well as the Thieves Guild and giving you a little more opportunity to, you can slice people's necks, you can throw weapons now, you can craft different types of daggers. There's tons of things you can do in terms of, sneaking around and being an assassin or a thief in your next playthrough, and I really love this mod here. Following that, we have more Sneak Thief Assassin mods such as Sneak Tools, A Thief's Resolve, the Darker Brotherhood, which expands the Brotherhood questline and makes it a lot better as well. And then we have other mods like Lawbringer and House Rule, Lawbringer for Solstheim, which allows you to actually take over areas that you find in Skyrim. You know how in our top 5 mods of the week series, we're always heading to Robber's Gorge and clearing out that area. Now you can head to Robber's Gorge and actually take over it, and actually have people from Morthul or any place like the Empire or the Stormcloaks come and take over it instead of having bandits run it now. Following that, we have other mods that actually make Lawbringer a lot more worthwhile, such as Tactical Valtheim, which makes the Valtheim towers a lot more difficult and a lot more fortified as well. And then Engorged Robber's Gorge, of course, we just talked about Robber's Gorge. This fortifies that a lot more and makes it a lot more worthwhile to go in. And then Imperial Stone Forts of Skyrim completely remasters the Forts of Skyrim and makes them look a lot better. Forgotten Dungeons, Easier Riders Dungeon Pack. This just adds brand new dungeons into the game that you can explore at your heart's content. Next up, Houses, Shops, and Inns in Floki's Library, Farms of Skyrim, Place of Power. This is just adding little things across the map, like Floki's Library gives you a place to buy books. If you're looking to actually purchase books throughout Skyrim and you don't want to go looking for them, Floki's Library is a good chance to, go ahead and buy some books there. That Houses, Shops, and Inns mod just makes houses, shops, and inns look a lot better and have more stuff on display. Farms of Skyrim gives you more crops. Place of Power gives all of the unique standing stones of Skyrim a new unique area instead of just being a random stone in the middle of nowhere. And then our SMIM mod up next here, Polly's Arts 2, which is a remix of a bunch of different SMIM mods all together, and it makes one of the best SMIM mods I think I've ever included in a load order, because these textures look absolutely amazing. And we can keep enhancing these textures with the next mods on our list, the HD Unique Handmade Signs, and then Elsopa's HD Hand-Painted Road Signs, Elsopa's new enchantment textures, the lockpicking interface redone, beautiful gold overhaul, the Gemstone Replacers HD, dust effects. There's just so many textures to enhance around here, and this is all done in this little section here. And then after that, we have the There Will Be Blood and Bubbles bundle, which allows more blood to generate on your character, and whenever you jump into water, there'll be actual bubbles that come out. So it's just more of a realism and effect mod there, and blood can actually accumulate on your character and you'll have to wash it off, which I think is a cool little aspect there. After that, you have the Rash Shaders and Effects mod, which makes it so if it's snowing, you'll actually see snow accumulate on your character. If it's raining, you'll see, raindrops come through in your vision. It just makes it look a lot more realistic in first and third person. Now moving on to our lighting mods, with the updated Enhanced Light and Effects mod, the ELFX fixes all in one, the hardcore version, as well as some patches for ELFX. ELFX is definitely my staple mod whenever it comes to lighting, and the ELFX hardcore is definitely a must-have mod here too, because it makes every single cave that you explore in Skyrim completely dark. So you have to use a torch or a candlelight spell, which is how it should have been from the get-go, and it makes every single cave that you travel in Skyrim a lot more scarier, because you never know what's going to be around the next corner. Moving on, we have some convenience mods such as Get Immersive Cheats and Get Immersive Merchant Cheats. They're more so just a way to make the game a lot more convenient, which adds smelters to Solitude, Riften, and Riverwood, armor workbenches added in other places where it makes sense. These cheats just make sense, there's not going to be, a sword that gives you way more overpowered abilities or anything like that. It just makes the game a lot more convenient for you, so you don't have to travel door to door to do one task. Everything's going to be in one place for you, and I really like that. After that, for you sneak characters up next, we have the merchant chests on display. So instead of having to glitch under the map to actually get an inventory chest, you can actually look through the merchant's chest if you wait for him to go to bed and sneak into his shop. You can just go right into his chest and pick the lock, and everything's ripe for looting. And then following that, we have our difficulty mods, such as Elegy All-in-One, the Wildcat Combat of Skyrim, the Archery Skill Set, and Improved Bandits. And then actually, the next mod is a giant bundle that is probably one of the biggest mods that we have in here. So we have the Monster Perks, New Shouts, Unique Stones, and More bundle here, which is a complete overhaul that includes so many bundles like the Imperious Races of Skyrim, the Thunderchild Epic Shouts and Immersion mod, the Growl Werebeasts of Skyrim mod, Wintersun Faiths of Skyrim, Andromeda unique standing stones, Summer Mist's brand new enchantments, and the Sacrosanct Vampires of Skyrim mod. So pretty much everything that you can do and all of your abilities are all fit into this one 109.66 megabyte mod, and it completely transforms all the gameplay that you could possibly have all throughout Skyrim, and it's a must-have mod in this list here. Up next, we have the Violence Kill Move mod, which makes your kill moves even more badass than they were in the vanilla game, and you can also tweak them to your liking. And then we have Dart's hair colors, which adds over 150 new hair colors to Skyrim. And then following that, we have our crafting mods, such as the Craft Everything mod, which truly allows you to craft every non-unique piece of clothing, armor, and weapon. It's a brilliant mod to have if you're just looking to have some, party clothes that you want to craft and not have to go looking for. You can now craft everything at the crafting station under the miscellaneous section. And then the Mystic Condenser mod, you have the Wearable Lanterns mod, which allows you to wear lanterns on your side and have that as a light source, or you can make your own light source with the Lanterns and Candles SE mod. With all of these crafting mods combined, you have a huge new upgraded and remastered list of new things that you can craft at the smithing station as well as the tanning rack, and it just completely expands the opportunities of what you can build, what you can craft, and what you can wear, what you can use as a weapon. This is just a true expansion of the crafting in Skyrim, and I absolutely love these mods combined together. Next up, we're going to move on to our landscaping mods, such as the Veda Galt Grass and Land Overhaul mod, which completely overhauls all of the landscape and grass and just everything that you're going to see as you're exploring Skyrim. And then you have the Landscape Fixes for Grass mods, the Natural Forces Bundle Wet, which changes all of the different types of elements, such as casting fire, frost, and lightning, as well as changing what the water looks like in Skyrim. So all in one mod to do all that, that's pretty impressive. Then you have mods like the Color Patches Remover, and then my favorite mod of all time, the Alternate Start Live Another Life mod, which instead of going through the vanilla start, you just spawn in a little room that you create your character in, and then you can choose your own intro sequence. And then following that with the New Beginnings Alternate Start, you get even more choices. So you can actually walk up to this little statue that I showed in the beginning here, and you can choose your background. Where did you come from? Were you a mercenary? Were you a merchant? Were you someone who was just a beggar in a town? Were you part of a guild? There's so many different choices and places that you can start in Skyrim, so you always have a different character every single time you start up a new playthrough. And then following that, we have some quest enhancers, such as the Parthenax Dilemma, the Missives mod, which adds more, actual side quests to the game that you can walk up to a missive board and get some extra quests to get some extra gold on your hands. The Radiant Quest Marker SE, which tells you when a quest is actually radiant, so you don't waste your time. And then we have other roleplay mods, such as Your Own Thoughts, the Run for Your Lives mod, the Rent My House, which allows you to become a landlord and actually sell out the houses that you've purchased already. You have the Sleeping Expanded, so if you wake someone up in the middle of the night, they get really upset at you. The Sleep to Level Up mod, so you can't just spam level up whenever you're in trouble in combat. Reflection Level Up messages, so just like in Oblivion, whenever you level up, you'll get a special little message that says, how you're progressing through Skyrim and what you're learning and how your character's coming along. And then we have immersive speech dialogues up next, which makes the speech dialogues a lot more realistic and way less cringe. And then immersive speechcraft, which is another mod that I absolutely love because it allows you to talk to every single character in Skyrim. You'll no longer be able to walk up to a character and press A on them and they'll just say, "Need something?" You'll actually be able to initiate a conversation with them, and you can have something like bartering with them. You can command them if your speech skill's high enough. You can give gifts to them. You can beg for gold. You can trick them. You can even fight them now too. So there's so much to do with this immersive speechcraft mod, and it's just a perfect mod to have inside here. And then we have realistic conversations, which just makes all of the conversations a lot more realistic, of course. And then the relationship dialogue overhaul, which changes followers and different types of conversations that you can have with your companions and just your followers to be a lot more realistic as well. Then the USSEP patch for the relationship dialogue overhaul. And then we can change up Lydia because Lydia could always use some work. This just makes it so Lydia isn't just standing around all the time. She actually works as a guard and actually has her own character now. And then marry almost anyone up next here. Self-explanatory, just allows you to marry anyone with the marriage voice type. And then Marry Me Serena, which a lot of you guys requested me include in this mod list as well because Serena is a staple follower to have and we always love to marry her as well. After that, we have the head tracking fully scripted mod, which makes it so if you walk past an NPC or a dead body, your character won't just look like a robot looking straight forward. He'll actually turn his head and actually acknowledge the person standing there. And then after that, we have the underwhelming multiple followers mod, which allows you to have more followers than just one. And then we have some patches for that. And then finally, the last mod in our load order here, we have the FPS Eternal mod, which is one of the greatest FPS mods that I've ever included in a load order because it makes it so you can actually walk around Skyrim and not have a ton of lag with all 149 of these other mods on top of this. And that is it. That is all 150 mods in this giant RPG load order, and there's only one more thing that we have to do before we can jump into starting a new playthrough. Basically what that is you back all the way out to Skyrim's main menu, and then shut down Skyrim, and then restart your Xbox. I do this by holding the power button for at least 5 to 10 seconds so it shuts off, and then turn it back on, and you should be ready to start a brand new playthrough in Skyrim. I also took a lot of time and effort to test this load order so that you guys shouldn't have any problems whatsoever in your playthroughs. But that being said, Skyrim is Skyrim, so if you do end up having trouble, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to help you guys out the best that I can. And if you guys want to see more videos in the future of me making other load orders or me doing other types of videos, maybe we'll visit Fallout and we'll do a remaster of that RPG load order next. You know, there's so much that we could bring to the channel in the future. So if you want to see more content like this, be sure to let me know by subscribing and leaving a comment down below. It really helps me out a ton. And thank you guys so much for all of the support over these last 300 weeks of Skyrim modding. I still can't wrap my head around that number. 300 episodes, that's entirely insane. And that's just a lot of mods. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this load order, and I can't wait to hear some feedback from you guys and what you guys think. I also want to give a special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me over the past 5 to 6 years that we've been doing this series. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later.